5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hello! There I was, like Father Christmas, popped up. I'm a bit like Father Christmas anyway, I only come once a year. Welcome along, Happy New Year to everybody. Do you have a good one? Do you have a good Christmas? Good New Year? Blinked and you missed it. Or is it just that I'm getting old? It went so quickly. Gotta say though, it felt so un-Christmassy this year, but I had an absolutely fantastic time. And I hope you all did as well. And I hope your stockings got filled by Santa, madam. If they did, you were very, very lucky. But good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, goodbye, hello, wherever you are in the world. One of those will apply to you. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. It's the prediction show. Brad's on the injury table, as they say today, so we don't have any Brad. Dave is probably just nursing a hangover somewhere, but then again, aren't we all? So I have got a special guest with me this evening who is going to be a permanent host with us, I'm pleased to say, moving forward. You may know him. Yeah, he's going to kill me. As Zippy Sugar Bells. All we know is he's called the Wayne. Zippy, you old devil, how you doing?
Hi, Chris. How are you? Hopefully by February that name will have disappeared.
Oh, no, it won't. No, don't think for a moment. I have them all written down here.
I think we all got away lightly. Brad was the one that came off the worst.
Well, he deserved it anyway. He deserved it. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And hopefully you had a very good Christmas and New Year and didn't consume too much of the old alcoholic beverages.
No, I was ill quite a lot and also doing a bit of work, actually, contract work. So, no, just saw some family, watched some television, relaxed, and just sometimes switch off is nice, isn't it?
Oh, just totally. I must admit, New Year's Eve, I only went to my neighbours, and there's a lot of that illness going around. Her 18-year-old, who should have been out partying, was stuck in, and she was coughing her guts up everywhere. And at 12 o'clock, we did a hey, old lang syne and having all that. And I said, I better let you go now. I said, Olivia's not very well, and you'll be, she's a lot older than me, my neighbour. I said, you'll be wanting to go. Oh, she says, just have another one. I got in at 3 o'clock.
I thought you were going to say that. Hey,
and
just a quick one.
I got lost going home, and she only lives next door. Literally, our front doors are next to each other. I could have got lost.
Your sat nav got bamboozled, did it?
My sat nav got G&T'd out. Definitely. But look, let's just say hello to a couple of people that are in. Prashant, hello, happy new year to you as well. Ronald is in. Hello, Ronald, how are you doing? And Andreas, evening, Chris, happy new year to you as well. Interesting, we're on week 20 already. Can you believe we are literally over halfway?
Yeah, it's been an exciting year, very exciting.
Hasn't it just? I mean, it's been what I would call a typical Leicester year, really.
Yeah, financial fair play, people coming on loan, manager, getting stuck in the mud a bit, new manager. 14 points or something. We've got massive points total so far. It's easy sailing from now on, is it, for us?
It can't be any worse. Because of course I had to do just before Christmas. I know you did comment on the post, but I had to put down what my highlight of the year was, and most people were saying like, "Well, winning the championship and etc." But of course, I went for the not getting any points deduction with the PSR, but it is rearing its ugly head again because we've had to get last year's in by 2 days ago, the 31st. And that's when Forest and Everton got their point deduction.
Right. Yeah, I've been looking at Kieran Maguire, seeing it because he's started to tweet a few different like financial things with different clubs.
Yes.
And I just wonder whether he will be posting something about Leicester anytime.
Well, apparently, according to one of the nationals, it's us, Forest, Everton, and Chelsea.
And how do you know that? I mean, they must, are they privy to? Yeah.
I think they're doing that a little bit, but
because normally when you post your financial accounts, it's available for everybody to look at, isn't it, on Company's House?
Yeah. I don't know. I just post them telling people this is what you can read. I have no financial knowledge at all. What I do have knowledge of, though, is the table. And this is as it stands up to week 19. Brad has delayed. He didn't do these regularly. In fairness, it was Christmas and the games are coming thick and fast. And he kind of did one just before. But this is up to week 19. Nate seems a permanent fixture up at the top. I have to say, I'm getting a bit of a nosebleed because I've jumped up to 7th.
Well, I thought you and Brad were quite neck and neck, weren't you, at one stage?
We were. But over Christmas, Brad got not many points. Is that the polite way of putting it, do you think? He got, on one weekend, he got 3. He got 11 in total. I got 21, and apparently, I actually put watch out for the gap, Brad. Ennis and said, "We're not even in the same postcodes at the moment, mate."
I did notice you crowbar in the prediction at any possible time you could, Chris. I could tell you were doing well, mate.
I think I need to because I don't think I'll be up there for long. So, like you say, sing when you're happy and make the most of it. But apparently, according to Brad, only one person scored higher than me over the Christmas triple games, and that was Shane, who got 22, one more than me.
Right. Get in there, Chris.
I was just warming up. But let me just see if I can just see, because as you may know, Brad did like again to mention it a few times, that he has won the Premier League 2 of 3 seasons.
Right.
And was the reigning Premier. I mean, we don't talk about last year because that was the Championship. I'm just looking. Can you see Brad anywhere? 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. 16th.
Yes.
Brad. He's even below Luke. What can I say? He blames. I'm sure he's going to start blaming Jesse and saying he's been distracted by love.
I did think that, yes.
Yes,
Which is
yeah.
fair play.
Well, yes, I'm just jealous.
Give it a month and then we'll be back on it then.
Yes. Once the honeymoon period's over, But we've got to say, now, just to make this clear for everybody that's watching, the Wayne that is in 17th place at the moment isn't you. It was another Wayne that was in and didn't. The rules were at the start of the season, if anybody missed 2 weeks without letting us know, look, if you're going on holiday, or Jeff went into hospital, Doug's son was ill, you just stick a note in saying, like, really sorry, but I can't do it this week. But he said if you did more than 2 weeks not letting us know, you got chucked out. Normally, we would have therefore chucked Wayne out. However, at the start, I was 16th. So he stayed in, so I didn't look as bad. And now Brad is 16th, so he stopped in to make Brad not look quite as bad. But you have very kindly said that you are going to happy to join and join us from this week onwards.
It's a strong foundation, 59, Chris.
It is, and I think the way Brad's going, mate, a couple of weeks and you'll be above him, But you're going to take over Wayne's points as it stands at the moment. I mean, like I say, you've missed 3 or 4 weeks, but it's only for fun.
Yeah, of course.
What have you? And I have to say, just to sort of make it clear, because it's happened a few times, you obviously, I'll get Brad to add you into the X or Twitter, whatever people call it these days, the group chat. So moving forward, you can either post your predictions in there, and I'll do it for you today. We'll do it on the show now, and we'll make a note of it. Right. But people are starting to sort of leave the group chat for whatever reason, and then try and rejoin. If anybody leaves the group chat, we'll just take that you're going to leave, and we'll knock you out. So if you are thinking of leaving because you're feeling a bit down about Leicester, you'll be out of the league. Just to put that out there. LCFC Forever is in. Hello. What is going on with Man City? I don't know, but long may it continue. And then Prashat says, if it's a limited partnership company, their audited statements are published and available on request. Boom. That's gone straight over my head. But look, this is like finding a needle in a haystack with the way this season's going, isn't it? And we've got a few juicy games this weekend, including the Liverpool Man United derby. We're going to talk and go through these. I have also got Brad's predictions here as well. So he can, and I've written mine down, and we'll go through those and we'll talk about it as we go through. Please join in the chat. If you are, can you please write down, like for the first one, TOTNEW, so we know which one you're talking about, because sometimes a couple of them do overlap. The games, 10 games this week, all over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night. We've got a Monday night game as well. But we start early with Spurs hosting Newcastle. Now, I don't know whether you've got tables or anything there, but Spurs, they've only won 1 in 5, and the last 5, and that was against Southampton. Yeah, who knew? Where Newcastle, having been on a bad run, actually starting to pull it together now. They've moved up to 6, and they've not lost in 4.
Yeah, I think Newcastle, the grandson and son-in-law, they support Newcastle, and they've been they were supposedly going to try and get in the Champions League this season. And wasn't misfiring. But he is a quality striker. And they've got Joe Linton, who's a powerhouse in midfield.
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon, attacking wise, they're so fit, and when they click, I think they give anybody a good game. So I expect, because Spurs are sometimes brilliant and sometimes not, I'd say 4 goals to Newcastle and 2 to Spurs.
So 2-4, right? And I've got to say, I've just altered mine. because I wrote mine down earlier. Then I've just seen what I've said there, and I'm thinking, "Ooh, no, I've not put this in yet." Well, Brad's gone 2-0 to Newcastle,
Oh,
and I thought at the start, and I'd actually gone for a Desmond,
right.
but having seen that, I mean, Newcastle, all right, they beat Ipswich 4-0, but let's be honest with you, Ipswich had just beat Chelsea. They beat us 4-0. They beat Aston Villa 3-0, and they beat Man United 2-0. They are knocking the goals in. So
And
I've
keeping clean sheets, yeah.
so I've actually changed mine from a 2-2 to a. I've gone Tottenham 2, Newcastle 3, because I think Newcastle will just edge it. Spurs, I mean, they're down in 11th at the moment. They're not having the season that they were hoping, but Newcastle are slowly turning it around now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Spurs. I mean, how will he keep his job all this season? I don't know. Big age,
Actually, I think he will now. I mean, they're up
Yeah.
in the Europa League position, and they're above Man City. I think he will, but if they don't qualify for Europe this season, they may, I think, possibly look at getting rid of him at the end. But we will see. Now, Villa Leicester. We will come on to that at the end because this is a Leicester channel, so we don't want to do it now and then everybody turns off because we've done that. Just put that fan on. So we're going to jump to Bournemouth hosting Everton. Now, Bournemouth, they're having a really good season. They're only just one place off Europe themselves, a point behind Man City. They haven't lost actually in 5. They've won. They beat Ipswich and they beat Man United, although everybody seems to be doing at the moment. They drew with West Ham, drew with Palace, and drew with Fulham. And Everton, on the other hand, are in 16th. They're on 17 points, but they've got one of the better goal differences down there, -9. They've not won in 4. 5 games ago, they beat Wolves 4-0. But then they drew with Arsenal, drew with Chelsea, drew with Man City, but they did lose then to Nottingham Forest. Now, I've actually gone, because it's at home, I've actually gone for a Bournemouth win here. And I've agreed with Brad with the fact of a win, but I've agreed with Brad an awful lot here. And I've actually he's gone Bournemouth 3, Everton 1. I have gone Bournemouth 2, Everton 0.
Yeah, I have gone for a Bournemouth win. You know, they're because Craig was on about will they be pushing for Europe themselves. I think it's very difficult to get into that top 6 or top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, Everton had those 3 very impressive draws against the top sides. And you're thinking, here we go. So Sean Dyche has got Everton back organised again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think they lack firepower. They're not consistent enough. And Bournemouth are a very good side. And the draw against Fulham. I mean, Fulham are a very good side, aren't they?
They are.
Very good attack, solid in defence. Silver's a great manager. So yeah, I'd say 2-1, Chris.
You're going 2-1 to Bournemouth. Yeah. Bournemouth, I've got to say, they really are. I mean, I've got a sneaky liking for them living down here. But they're only a point behind Manchester City. They've got a plus goal difference. Like I said, they've not lost in 5. I'd love to see them get into Europe. I really would.
Does Craig think it's a realistic possibility?
I think he's thinking, and I can't speak for him, but I would imagine it depends on Manchester City. Because if they get a points deduction, which we probably know they're not going to, but if they were to get a points deduction, obviously that would move sort of everybody up a place, up to a point. But you see, you've got Newcastle have turned it round.
Mm.
Forest are up there. We can't forget Forest. You know, they're having a damn good season. But Fulham and Villa and Brighton have all kind of, and Brentford all started well, and they've all dropped off a little bit, haven't they? So,
Yeah.
you know, I would just love to see it. Love to see it. Here we go. Paul is in. I wasn't impressed with rude answer in the press talk for the weekend. Which particular answer was that, Paul? Give us a clue. George is in. Away the lad. We only need City to lose points again, please. Well, we've got their prediction coming up in a minute. But next up, it's the London Derby, or one of the many London Derbies, as Crystal Palace host Chelsea. What the hell happened to Chelsea last weekend? I mean, fair play to Ipswich when I know that they've gone above us, and that does hurt. But what are Chelsea doing? Are they turning into prime time Tottenham?
Yeah, well, they did beat Shamrock. Was it Shamrock Rovers 5-1?
Oh well then, all is well. All is well.
Yeah, but that Everton, that draw, and then to lose against Fulham and Ipswich was the surprise, because at one stage we thought Ipswich and Southampton were just never going to get the results, but
No.
then Ipswich went above us, didn't they? So yeah, I think Chelsea, they are still a young side, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I'd say Chelsea 3, Palace 1, because Palace are really struggling this season.
They are. I mean, Chelsea have lost the last two. They lost to Fulham and they lost to Ipswich. But they're also in the last 5. They beat Spurs 4-1, which was a good one. They beat Brentford and they drew with Everton. And I'm going to sneeze. So excuse me. I hate that. You know, when you've just sneezed once, is there going to be another? Isn't there? I hate that sort of in between. But I'm all right. I'm back. Palace's. Thank you. Palace's last 5, drawn 1, lost, drawn 1. I mean, they have hit a bit of form. Might be something to do with the players coming back. We need a Chelsea win from a Leicester perspective, don't we?
Yeah.
I have gone 2-0 to Chelsea because I think Enzo will be fuming. Having conceded, knowing him as we do.
Hot-headed Italian, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I've gone Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 2, and Brad has gone Crystal Palace 2, Chelsea 2. So he's gone for his a Desmond there.
Right.
And Thin Big Ant, hello, how the devil? I would have said representing the arse, but that would have sounded very, very odd. Geordie has gone 3-0 to Chelsea. And between you and me, and LCFC Ever has gone 2-1 to Chelsea. So all pretty much within the same thinking. Now, I have to say that I had a comment on one of my posts today in Facebook. And I know we're only one day into the new year, but I don't think this comment will get beaten for the rest of the year. It was absolutely brilliant. Because the headline was, Rude dips into his Man United contacts for the transfer window. And I can't remember who it was. Big up to you, mate. Replied, bloody hell, when you just thought things couldn't get any worse.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean, what are you, John, by the way? And that was just so. And my brother-in-law is a Man United fan, and my two nephews are Man United fans. So I took great delight in sending them that. I thought, what a fantastic comment.
Yeah, some of the banter between fans is absolutely razor sharp, and it's just brilliant. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I absolutely brilliant that. But sorry, this is Manchester United. I'm getting my Manchesters mixed up, aren't I? This is Manchester City that are hosting West Ham. Sorry, not Manchester United. But it was still a funny story anyway.
It was.
Manchester City, what the hell are they doing this season? I'm pleased because, my predicted winners was ABMC, anyone but Manchester City.
Yeah.
Just got absolutely fed up. But I have to say, got to give Pep fair play and credit to him coming out and saying after our game that we were the better side in the second half. Which doesn't really seem good when you come to think we were playing Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's been very difficult for him to take the form, but I think he's gathered himself now, sort of, and he's thinking, right, okay, let's see what we can do here. And who was he? Did he have a quick whisper in Bilal's ear? You're thinking, you stay away from Bilal.
I think he was praising him, actually. I think he does that after every game, doesn't he? He picks someone out and has a word in their ear. Which, if he isn't, and I'm sure he's not going up and saying, he thought about coming to us, but who knows? But if he is going up and saying, "Well played, mate," that you were great, you played well. I mean, that's really a good thing a nice thing to do, isn't it?
It is, and as you say, Chelsea's our conveyor belt, our cash cow. They keep coming in for our players, so we're all worried about Mads. I mean, blimey, if Bilal carries on, very exciting. Yeah.
Well, West Ham United. Manchester City have won only 1 in 5, and that unfortunately was against us. They've lost 2 and drawn the other 2. West Ham United, Floppy Loppy, is still there. He's hanging on somehow by his fingertips. He's won 2 in his last 5. He beat West Ham. He beat Wolves, which did us a favour at the time. He beat Southampton. Fair play. He got a couple of draws with Bournemouth and with Brighton, but he did lose very, very heavily at home to Liverpool the other night. The West Ham fans were, and I get it. I get how they're feeling because they were wanting him to go. Then he's got a fair few decent results there, not lost in 4, shifted them up the table. So I think they're probably out of the equation to go down as much as any team can be. But then you go and lose 5. I mean, we didn't let 5 in against Liverpool, did we?
No, and that was because he did look certain to go. And to be honest, at one stage, West Ham, when we looked at the beginning of the season thinking, oh, please let there be 3 teams worse than Leicester this season. And West Ham looked like they're on course that maybe Everton. But I think maybe he has. But I did notice Bowen had a bit of a purple patch. But is Bowen injured now, I think?
I'm not sure. I
think he might be injured, which if he is, because I had him in my fantasy football team last season. If he's on fire, he's such a good attacking midfielder. And if he is injured, then I think they will slide back down, to be honest. So I'd say Man City 3, West Ham 0. I think Haaland, is a quality striker. He's gone through a barren patch with losing Rodri, but Kevin De Bruyne is back. They've got a lot of world-class players that were really, we could have won that game. Man City won it, so I'd say 3-0 to Man City.
I'm just looking here. Lopetegui provides Bowen update. The Hammers captain sustained a fractured foot in the first half against Liverpool. He's not playing for this game anyway. You're not going to come back from a fractured foot within a week. And he was talking about how long he might be out for. This is going to be another one that I'm now going to revise my. Shall I stick with it?
Ooh, dilemmas, Chris.
Well, yeah. Well, Brad's gone 3-1.
Right.
To Manchester City. I don't know. I looked at that West Ham performance and look, we were absolutely disgraceful against Wolves. If anybody who's seen my rant on the channel
Yeah.
will know, it was just disgusting. Against Liverpool and against Man City. I mean, I was watching it. I say the Liverpool game with my brother, with my a friend, and he was saying you did all right. And even Doug messaged me and said, "You know what, you played well." But then, so when you go and you lose 5-0 at home, I don't know how long he's got. And the problem is, they may get Cooper, because it's West Ham, the London team. Palace don't look like they're going to sack now. I think you might be surprised to see Cooper. Interesting to see that David Moyes said he doesn't want to have another relegation battle.
He did, didn't he? He said he liked something, but he's done it. He's had enough of scrapping at the bottom, hasn't he? Because that is the label you get stuck with, like Allardyce, isn't it?
It is, and he's done it twice with West Ham.
Yeah, I do think when he won the European trophy. I mean, that is just every now and again you think that is bonkers. I know he ran his course, but what else have you got to do to get a thank you from the fans? Really,
I know exactly. But he's got looking for some hand cream here. It would be interesting to see, and I think that's probably why Moyes never considered Leicester. But I'm dripping everywhere. I am going to go. I'm going to stick with what I started with, otherwise I'll regret it. I've gone 2-1 to Manchester City.
I thought you were going to go for double figures, Chris.
Well, no, I think it will be a hard game. I don't think Manchester City are out of the woods, and they didn't look, in fairness, they didn't look all that against us, did they?
No, they looked mid-table Premier side, yeah.
And I think that Manchester City, West Ham will come out and maybe shock them and get a goal. Right. I was considering going 2-0, but I think we're going to stick with 2-1 because I think they'll be shocked by West Ham, and West Ham they'll be stung. They'll be stung after that Liverpool result. And
what did Brad say, Chris? What?
Brad said 3-1 to Manchester City. And I've gone 2-1, and you've gone 3-0. In fairness, LCFC Forever's gone 2-1, and so has John. Not sure how West Ham will look up to 13th. And send Cooper to sabotage West Ham. I tell you what, did you see Mark Robbins is back in at Stoke?
Yeah.
Come Mark, look after Tom Cannon for us, mate. Right. Southampton. A couple of weeks ago, Southampton was my fan match on the weekend review. And the guy that did it for us, Jack, great friend of the channel, Southampton fan, Matchday Vlogs, he was tongue-in-cheek, but he deep down he meant it, that they might not even make the 11 points that Derby made in that season when they had the lowest of the low. Well, I have to say, at this point of the season, or just before Christmas, whenever it was, when they were comparing the two, there were 6 points for Southampton and 7 points for Wolves. Now, they brought this new manager in. They haven't had the bounce yet. But they didn't. They've won. They've got 1 point in the last 5 games. They look doomed. I don't know if this new manager is going to change anything. Do you?
No, could you said that doomed in a Scottish accent, Chris?
Did I? Doomed. Doomed. We're all doomed, For those of a certain age that remember Dad's Army, we're doomed, I tell you, doomed.
Yeah, I mean, you look, one thing, when you talk about like the goal difference, when you look up at the top and down the bottom. That normally is a really good indicator.
Yes.
I mean, we took a pummeling, but I mean, Southampton minus 27. I mean, 6 points. So in 19 games, they've got 6 points.
Mm.
So yeah, I'd say I have got them down to score 1 against Brentford. Because what was that? What's that young lad, Tyler Dibbler?
Yes.
He's a brilliant player. He's definitely going to the sort of top 6 Premier club. Very exciting. I've got Brentford 2, Southampton 1. Because although Brentford normally away don't do that well, and Buemo is on form, and I just think Southampton are really weak. So 2-1 to Brentford, I'd say.
It's a good point. Brentford are murdering it at home, but away from home, they're not doing well. But this is Southampton. And Southampton, they can score goals. That said, they've only got 12, but they sometimes do pop up with goals. But they score most of the goals at home. As look, they put 2 past us in the first half, didn't they? But they concede for love and money. Will the new manager have had time to do much? No. This is only his second game, and they played before New Year, didn't they? It's on Saturday at the weekend, whenever they played, and now. And of course, you've had New Year's Day in there, and I don't know whether the players would be out training New Year's Day. So I think Southampton will get a couple of goals. So I've gone 2-2 to Southampton, and I've gone 3 to Brentford. So I think Brentford will edge it. I think it will be a tight game because it is away from home, and Brentford are usually, like you say, not as good away. So yeah, I've gone 2-3 to Brentford. Brad doesn't even give Southampton a goal here, and he's gone 0-2 to Brentford. Now, LCFC and John are copying each other's homework here. LCFC has agreed with you. He's gone Southampton 1, Brentford 2, as has John.
Does that get a detention, Chris?
Well, it should do, shouldn't it? Write 100 lines, you two. We've been linked with their Kyle Walker-Peters too, apparently. Who haven't we been linked to?
I tell you what, when we played Southampton in the Premier, I really like Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yes, I did.
He always has a great game against Leicester.
Yeah.
He's very fit, attack-minded. Yeah, he's like a Justin, but I think he's more progressive, James Justin, when Justin was on fire.
I don't think we can afford him.
No.
That's the worry, that when we're getting linked with players, let's realise we're not going to be able to go and buy 2 £30 million players. We might have to buy 4 that total up to 30 million. I mean, we have been linked, and I don't know why I put all the effort in sometimes, but we have been linked with Marseille's Liam Brazier. Now, I did actually ask the question, will he get the support from the fans?
Boom!
And can he win Leicester? Can he help Leicester win any cups?
Hey!
But we are hopeful that this news will hold up.
Hey, you should have done a mic drop there, Chris.
And last one, Leicester are going to keep their cards close to the chest on this one.
Hey!
Thank you. Here all week. But the good news is it's Thursday. So look, we're being linked with everybody and the dog. So on that one. Now this next one's interesting because it is Brighton, who started off the season really, really well. They seem to have obviously they've got a new manager this season. They seem to be doing well. But they have fallen off a little bit. That said, they've only lost 4 games all season. But what they're doing is they're drawing games. They've drawn 6. Of those 6 draws, 4 of them have come in the last 5 games. They've scored 29, but they've conceded 28. That's a lot of goals to concede. When you look at sort of where they are, Arsenal, we knew that they got the win last night. I believe it was, wasn't it? 39 points. They're sat in second. They've not Forest off the silver position. Not lost in 5, but they've only drawn 2, and then the last 3 they have won. Like I say, including that game against Brentford. And that was a surprise because Brentford at home, I went for a draw for that one.
Right.
How do you see this one going?
Yeah, Brighton. I mean, I regularly see this Brighton fan chat with him. How do you think you're going to do this season? And they were working a pub. And basically, I said to him, also, are you going to carry on being like developing people, selling, and being mid to sort of 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th in the league? And he said, "Oh no, this year we're changing things up. We've definitely got £100 million player." He said, "And this year we are definitely going for Europe." He said their owner is an actual Brighton fan.
Yeah,
they've run it excellently for so many years, but they have fallen off, and he's like really quite gutted about it. And Arsenal, so I'd say Brighton. I think Brighton will score 1. I think Arsenal, when Odegaard and Saka were injured, really struggled. Although Saka's injured now, Odegaard, who's their captain, isn't there? He's back and he's pivotal, and I think they will score 3.
Okay, you go 1-3. Well, I have agreed with you to a point because I've gone Brighton 1, Arsenal 2, and Brad has gone Brighton 0, Arsenal 2. So he doesn't think he hasn't given Brighton a goal at all. John has agreed with me. He's gone 2-1. Predator's in. Hi, Predator. How are you doing? And he's gone 3-1 to Brighton. But he has made a very good point. Brighton will score a goal from a corner. Arsenal will score a goal from a corner. Just the one. And as John says here, what about Cassidy? Yeah, we've been linked with him again. He seems more likely than Kieran Dewsbury Hall because of maybe the money that's involved. I think we'd get him a lot cheaper. Even if we have Kieran Dewsbury, if Kieran Dewsbury Hall comes back, he'll only be a loan anyway. And who would he knock out? But I mean, Cassidy possibly. I wouldn't mind Cassidy back. I think he was just getting good when he was called back, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was neat on the ball. Maybe lacked a bit of confidence and physicality. But he just seemed to, and then he just called back, which kind of surprises because what do you get a few minutes here and there?
Yeah, he was called back, and then he was hardly ever played. And he was just getting in. The thing was, he was just getting into Enzo's team, and of course now Enzo isn't picking him at all. So be interesting. Right, coming up now, we're still on the Sunday games. All Sunday games are on Sky. Who knew? Fulham hosting Ipswich. Fulham, who literally tore us off a strip when we played them in the second game. Sat in 8th. In the last 5, they've not lost in the last 5, but they've only won 1 of those. They've drawn all the others. There's a lot of draws going on recently, isn't there? They beat Chelsea. Fair play to them away. They're up against Ipswich. Well, look, we know Ipswich. They've won 2 of the last 5. Fair play to them, Ipswich. They've lost the other 3. Their goal difference is a lot better than ours now, and they're a point above us, Ipswich. If they win this, Ipswich, I would imagine they'll end up the weekend outside the bottom 3. I've got to say, Ipswich is looking at the way the Ipswich players fight for the club. It is what I want to see my players do. That said, against Liverpool and Man City, they did. Wolves, it was just a disgrace. Wolves, it was a total and utter disgrace. Now, Brad has gone for a draw here. He's gone for a 1-1. I think Ipswich will score because they seem to get the odd goal here and there, but it's at Fulham. and I've gone for a 2-1 Fulham win.
2-1 Fulham.
What about yourself there, Wayne?
I've gone for 3-2 to Fulham because I think Silva, I think he's an excellent manager. He's got Castagna, they've got Raul Jimenez, they've got Iwobi, he's just electric. He's got a very fit, structured side. And I do think if they keep on going, they might even get, sixth or fifth, even fifth. It depends what Man City's doing. But Ipswich with Delap, he's a quality player. But I heard a statistic that apparently Ipswich, I don't know, it was last week or the week before, they had 6 players who were in with them in League One.
Yeah.
Playing during the Premier match, and you're thinking that's damn impressive.
Yes,
to stick with players, because you wouldn't you'd maybe expect League One to do okay in the Championship, but to be playing in the Premiership, it goes against all logic, really.
It does, but I think it shows for me good management by McKenna, because he's saying to these players, "Look, you've earned the right. You've got us here. I'm not going to dump you by the side. I'm going to give you your chance. If you fall, you fall, and obviously you'll be replaced." But he's given them the chance, and fair play to him, But you see a goal fest there, 5 goals, a 5-goal thriller.
Yeah, and I do think that's why McKenna he will manage a top club, and if he's loyal to the players like that, then the best bosses are people that. Bosses that treat people well, are loyal, and they get extra percentages from people because they actually buy into, they want to play for the manager and with passion. And he's doing a brilliant job.
I mean, I've got to say, I just want to mention Fulham at the moment because they are the team that Leicester should be for me. They're not necessarily going to win the league. In fact, they're not going to win the league, but they are well run. They've got a manager that, let's be honest with you, wasn't a particularly well thought of manager before Fulham. He struggled when he was at Everton, didn't he? But he's found his niche there. He's got a good run of play. He's bought well. He hasn't bought a lot, but he's just, got the right players in. Got some real good purchases in the summer. And fair play to him. And I think Fulham, they are looking like the established Premier League club that they are now. Fair play. 2-0 to Fulham, says John. LCFC forever said, "I'm not copying you anymore." He's gone Fulham 3, Ipswich 1. And then Pheasant's copied him and gone 3-1. Predator's gone the other way. He's gone for an Ipswich win. And maybe after that Chelsea win, they'll have that boost and to go ahead and win that.
That was the cost of the Wolves defeat, wasn't it? The fact that people were in touch with Leicester, and now it's
Yes. So the next game, which is the second game that we will be covering on the weekend roundup on Monday night. The main game obviously will be Leicester Aston Villa. And it's the Super Sunday game, Liverpool hosting Man United. Man United, I mean, I can't believe I've been talking to like my brother-in-law, and he wants Amorim out already.
What?
I know. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? There is so much wrong at that club. They are... And I don't mean this horribly to Manchester United, but getting a new manager in isn't going to fix the problems. Chelsea did it. They used to change their manager regularly, and every time they changed their manager, they seemed to win the league. But that new manager was coming on at least a club that had good foundations. Man United, like this ground, is crumbling. And this guy, Jim Ratcliffe from Ineos, he's supposed to know what he's doing in running football clubs because he owns that French side. Is it Lille? I can't remember. He seems to have no idea. Getting rid of Alex Ferguson, that's really going to help the club, isn't it? Banning wives from the end of season Christmas party, that's really going to help the club, isn't it? I'm sorry. All you're doing, to my mind, is just knocking the confidence of the players. He's not. He's got his priorities all wrong in my mind. But I think they are. I don't think they'll go down. I think they're too good to go down. But well, never say that, of course. But I think this is Liverpool's the taking now, and it's their title to lose almost, if you like, because if they are at the top. They've not lost in 5, but they drew 2, but they've won the last 3. They've only lost 1 all season, plus 28 goal difference, and they are 8 points clear of Arsenal with a game in hand. I could say it's they're going to have to do a Tottenham and implode, I think, to lose that. Man United down in 14th, only won 1 in 5. They've lost the other 4. They certainly haven't had a new manager bounce. It's like a new manager flatline, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got a minus goal difference. They've only won 6, drawn 4, lost 9. They are in. But having said that about going down, they're only on 22 points. They're not going to be on a lot more when they've played Liverpool, because I've got them down for a 3-0 win.
Yeah. Definitely agree with everything you said there, Chris. I mean, Salah is on fire. He's my captain in my fantasy football team. They've got people that can score all over the place. Robertson looks like he's back in the groove now. Trent Alexander-Arnold, although defensively is a bit iffy in that, he's such a skillful player. Jota's back from injury. They're just an Arnie Slot's done he comes across as a really nice guy, actually. Very level-headed, very grounded, a bit tongue-in-cheek humour as well. And really expected Liverpool to struggle this season.
Yeah.
But I mean,
you and me both, Wayne. You and me both. Purely because of the post-clock effect.
Yeah, because like when Ferguson left, I mean, that all clubs just have a fall off, don't they? Because players think, oh, that's the end of it, But Man United, I mean, it's just the cutting bonuses for staff, and I think if you're a player, because a lot of these players, like, don't know, the cleaning ladies or the woman in the cafeteria or the guy that's sort of security on the gate and different things. So, that sort of thing, that doesn't sit right with most people.
No.
I think it creates a really bad taste in your mouth. And historically, Man United have tried everything to get back to the Fergie era. And, it's like Leicester when we won the Premier, went out and spent £100 million and bought absolute rubbish. And it's like Man United throwing money at things doesn't. It's ineffective.
It is. It's going to be a combination. So, what have you gone for this one?
4-1 to Liverpool.
You got 4-1, right? Well, I went 3-0. You went 4-1. Bradders, he thinks it's going to be a goal fest. He's gone 5-1 to Liverpool.
Hey.
It might even be. Was it Man United who put 7 past Liverpool, or was it the other way around? I can't remember. But it could be another one of those games. The only thing I can see with Liverpool that might mess up their season is they've got Mo Salah, who's out of contract at the end. You got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's out of contract at the end. Might be some others as well. Real Madrid have already said we want Trent Alexander-Arnold. He said, I want to go. He has been, this depends which newspaper you read, I guess, but whether they've been approached Liverpool and turned it down, they're very much with those players in the same situation that Leicester were with Tielemans. Do they hold on to those players in the hope that they will win the Premier League, but they will go for nothing at the end of the season? Or do they, sell them now and get some money for them, and so they're not disrupting the squad? But obviously, if they go, you're losing 2 very, very good players there. And let's be honest with you, Salah and Trent might say, right, well, we'll wait till the end of the season, especially Trent, because he said not Trent. Yeah. Trent Alexander. Yeah. He's actually said he wants to go to Real Madrid. They may look at it at the end of the season and say, well, we've just won the Premier League. Let's go out on a high.
Yeah, and I think that's the player power that is more prevalent these days, like with Tillemans. I mean, they have a short career. Yes, they earn a phenomenal amount of money, but the careers are short. So, can you blame somebody wanting to go on a free because that might mean either that they earn more money or they can actually be attracted to a club like Real Madrid? You can't really, because managers go, players go, and the club remains. But yeah, I really think that I think Salah might go, and Trent Alexander. But I think they will, even if they're going, they will. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's like punching the air. He's still very passionate. So maybe they're trying to perform very well to help them get that move.
It will be interesting. It will be interesting. Pat Answer's got Liverpool 0, United 7. Liverpool 3, Man United 1, says John. Predator's gone Liverpool 11, United 5. If you know the context of the scoreline I have mentioned. Don't know about you there, Wayne. I don't get the context.
No.
11-5. You will explain it, I'm sure. Liverpool are relentless. They come at you from all angles. Yep. And LCFC has gone 4-1. This is the game that I found hardest to predict, and I'm probably going to change my mind in a second. The Monday night game, it's Wolves, and they are up against, they are hosting Nottingham Forest. Look, Forest, I know, we know who Forest are, but hats off to them. And I've got to say, if it was a case of who do I want to win the Premier League, Nottingham Forest or Manchester City, I would say Nottingham Forest, and I'm just so fed up with Manchester City bloody winning it all the time. And you know what? Fair play to Forest. I had them finishing 20th. Shows what I know. But then again, so did Jamie Carragher. So shows what he knows as well. I'm in good company. But look, you can't argue. They were second, they're down to third now. They've not lost. They've won the last 5 games, And when you look at those games, they beat Man United. They beat Villa. They beat Brentford. They beat Tottenham. They beat Everton. All right, Everton possibly. But the rest of those, they weren't always guaranteed easy games. Fair play to them. Nuno, yes, he had a bit of a bad time at Spurs, but then who doesn't, Now, Wolves, I had them finishing in the bottom 3 as well. Because I didn't rate Gary O'Neill as a manager, and obviously nor did the Wolves board. I don't think he was the manager to get them out, and I was surprised he lasted as long as he did. But the new guys come in, hasn't lost in 3.
I know the timing of when he came in, and even when he hadn't had much chance to, it just shows you just even the fact that they've not had any chance to do any training or get any tactics over organisation. Just the fact they've got a new manager.
Yeah. And it's somebody they looked at before Gary O'Neill or even before the last couple of managers. I don't know. He's Portuguese, obviously. Who knew? But look, fair play to Wolves. They're going really well. And I'm just going to change my score here, and I'll tell you why in a second. What are you going to? What are you going for on this one?
I'd say Forest winning 3-1 because his Cunha's finally got a ban, hasn't he? Now it's took a while for him to get that ban for slapping or punching somebody. Forest is just amazing. In fact, I was speaking to a customer who supports Forest. I asked him a few times what he thinks, and he says, "Oh, I'm not too sure." And some Forest fans are not particularly liking the way they play, but I like Nuno Espirito Santo. I loved it when he played at Wolves. They were dangerous on the break. Raul Jimenez, Jota.
Got them into Europe, didn't he?
Yeah, just did really well. So he's a very organised guy. He's got fast fullbacks, fast wingers, very organised, and they deserve all the credit they get because we love people that disrupt the top 6, don't we?
We do. So have you gone 2-1 there?
3-1, Chris.
3-1.
To Forest.
Sorry, 3-1. Okay. I had this down as a Forest win. I then changed my mind and thought it might be a score draw. But then, as you've just pointed out, Cunha, as however you pronounce it, has now got his ban. He is such a pivotal figure for Wolves. And if they were playing an Everton, Ipswich, Southampton and us, it might not make much difference. But I think that will hurt them when they host Forest. So I've gone back to my original prediction, which was Wolves 1, Nottingham Forest 2.
And that will suit Leicester City as well, won't it?
It would, yes. That's the other thing as well. Brad has gone for a Desmond. He's gone for a 2-2. Ooh. Yes, the first Desmond. I had a Desmond at the start, but I changed it to a Newcastle win. But yeah, I've gone for a Desmond. Now, going right back to the second game that's up there, 3:00 on Saturday. And of course, you can catch that live from 2:30 here on Leicester Till I Die TV. The watch along. You'll be with us, won't you, Wayne?
Yeah.
For that one, and that's going to be Aston Villa, say, hosting Leicester City. I'm feeling a bit more confident going into this than I did, before we played Liverpool and Man City. Because let's be honest with you, I don't know about you, we didn't expect to get much from Manchester City and Liverpool, did we?
No, I'm loving the positivity, Chris. Keep it coming.
I know. Don't make the most of it. The accounts have gone in for the end of the season thing, so might not be positive much after this weekend. But no, and Villa again. I wish they'd played in Europe this week because they're always shit when they played in Europe. But they're not having the best of seasons. That said, they're in ninth. Don't get me wrong. They have one lost, drawn. So by powers of deduction, the next game should be a loss. They've won 8, drawn 5, lost 6. They do concede. They've conceded 3 more goals than they've scored. I don't think we will win this, but I'm quite happy to say, I'll forego the 3 points if we do win it, so that the team get the 3 points. But I have gone for a draw. Well, I've gone 1-1.
1-1.
Sharp can take a breath there.
Yeah. It's that European curse, isn't it? When we got in the Champions League, we nearly got relegated. And most teams, unless they've got a squad full of Premier players, it's only the big clubs that can play in Europe and sort of do well in the Premier. So, I'd say Tielemans is playing very well. He did a beautiful pass. I mean, when he gets those passes, hits those passes right.
Took him a while to settle, didn't it, really? And earn his place in the team.
Yeah, and Watkins, he's been hot and cold, but they've got Rodgers, who's a very good player. It's just because they're in Europe, really. Like you said, Chris, if they played in Europe, that would have really suited us down to the ground. I'd say 2-2.
Oh, you're going for a Desmond.
To get 1 point against Villa, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
Edouard to come on and score both Leicester goals.
Sorry?
Edouard to come on and score both Leicester goals.
Well, there's a few people saying on Twitter, isn't that when it was asked about Edouard, and he says, "Oh no, Edouard will be staying."
I've not seen it, but I've seen the Twitter comments, but I've not seen the actual
press conference. He did actually say that.
Yeah, I can't. No way. We need somebody up there, don't we? Well, Brad has gone, and I'll be very, very happy if Brad gets 3 points for this and gets it on. But he's gone Aston Villa 1, Leicester City 3.
Go on, Brad.
Get in there, son. Get in. Yes, let's have it. Yes, so but I would take a draw at this point. Because I think Ipswich, I mean, I know I've gone 2-1 to Fulham, but they could get something there. They could surprise us. And we need Ipswich to start losing, and Wolves obviously as well. So there we go then. Just to confirm the Leicester score, Aston Villa 1, Leicester City 3. And we've got, that was Brad. I went 1-1, and we've got a first Desmond off Wayne. He's gone for a 2-2. Let's just quickly go through these. I've got to do some catch up here. Wolves 1, Forest 1, says John. Michael says Nether, they are our arch enemy. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying, but would you soon the Man City win it again? And he said that, then he's gone 4-1 to Forest. I mean, Michael, what? You've been at the old eggnog again, have you? 2-2, Warris, Wolves and Forest. If they play a joint team, it'd be called Warris. Frashant's gone, I wouldn't rate Wolves' performance against their performance against Leicester. Even a stormtrooper would have scored against our defence that day. I think, Frashant, you're getting your similes mixed up there. A stormtrooper, I think you'd want to score against anybody. But yes, anybody could have scored against Leicester that day. You are quite right. No true Leicester fan would want our enemy Forest to win. Well, I disagree with you, because you've got two true Leicester fans here, and we both said we'd sooner them win than Man City. John, but it's all about opinions, Michael. Respect yours. Villa 2, Leicester 1, says John. Present I think it's a 3-3 draw, or maybe it's my new year hangover doing it. Yeah, 3-3 maybe over 2 games, but not. We need Leicester scoring 3 goals in 1 game. I wish. I hope you're right, Present. Villa, LCFC forever, so it's gone for Desmond. We need more of an end product up front, yes, which is why I don't think Edouard should be staying. Michael, we get what you're saying. We get it, mate, get it. And there we go. That's it. Interesting to see. Will Brad be able to get some points back and come? I mean, for those of you who isn't here, I think he's throwing a sickie myself, saying that he's got his car. I don't think he just wanted this to be seen. That's what it is. Brad, you talk a good game. 2 times Premier League prediction winner. Ain't going to win it this time, mate. Ain't going to win it this time. Although he said that, it's quite tight there, isn't it? You know, but Brad, get ready to hand your crown over. Wayne, thank you so very much, sir. Really do appreciate you coming on. And you will be our regular co-host on here moving forward.
Yeah, sure.
It's at 7. So thank you very, very much, sir. And take care. Have a good weekend, and I will see you on Saturday.
Have a great week. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Take care, Wayne, and Happy New Year, mate.
Happy New Year, bud.
Cheers, Billy. So thanks very much there to Wayne. We've got a couple of shows coming up. You might be interested in the show we've got coming up at 7 tomorrow night. The Blame Game. Who is to blame for where Leicester find themselves in now? Position they find themselves in now. Top, the board, players, John Rudkin. Yeah, everybody will say John Rudkin. But is it? The recruitment team. We've got 100% to give out, and we've got to split it between 6 things. So it's going to be interesting. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, the Blame Game here on LTI TV. Richard, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? Welcome along. Lopetigo gone yet? Surely it's only a matter of time. But look, thanks very much, everybody. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year to you all. Hopefully see you tomorrow at 7 for the Blame Game. It'd be interesting to see. Well, I guess everybody's going to be saying John Rudkin, aren't they? Will we say that? Well, you'll have to tune in and see. Take care. Go and get over your hangovers, and we will see you tomorrow night. Thanks to everybody that's been in the chat. And thanks very much to all the subscribers. And if you are new and you haven't subscribed, please do. And also, of course, to all our members, $1.99 a month. I even get half a pint for that these days. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.